Hello guys, welcome to my first video on my channel, SweMike. And who am I, you might ask? My name is Michael, I live in Sweden, hence I chose the name SweMike for the channel name. And in this channel I'm thinking about documenting my trips I am planning and to share with you. I like to travel. I've been to the regular places like New York, Miami, Rome, Venice, Florence. Also been on a Caribbean cruise with my dad a couple of years ago. It was really nice. And this time I am actually going to Singapore. I mean, a lot of people go to Thailand or Bangkok. Not so many seem to be aware about Singapore. Singapore is a really nice place, I think. I didn't know much about Singapore myself until a couple of years ago when a friend of mine recommended it. In a couple of months, in January, I'm going to Singapore. It's 4 months away, but I'm really excited about it. I've already booked my flight, I've booked my hotel room, so I am ready to go. I could go tomorrow, but yeah, it's another 4 months. I am actually going to travel with Singapore Airlines. I haven't traveled with Singapore Airlines before, so it will be interesting. When I've gone abroad before, I've usually gone with Scandinavian Airlines, SAS, or with Lufthansa. But I've heard really good things about Singapore Airlines, so I decided to splurge a little bit. So I'm actually going business class with Singapore Airlines to Singapore. I've never flown business class. Well, that's not correct. I have flown business class once before with Scandinavian Airlines, but that was due to an upgrade. And that was pretty nice. Since this trip is about, I think, I'm going from Gothenburg, where I live, to Frankfurt in Germany, where I'm transferring to a flight to Singapore. And that flight from Frankfurt to Singapore, it's I think it's between 12 and 13 hours, and it's in the middle of the night. And I normally cannot sleep on airplanes, because it's too loud, it's too cramped, it's too noisy, yeah, you know all that. So I decided to splurge, as I said, and take a business class, see if I can sleep this time. And I'll be arriving, I think, local time around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I could sleep something on the plane, it would really help me to get into the rhythm as quickly as possible. Yeah, I think that's about it right now. Yeah, overall, I almost forgot. I have created a little video about Singapore, some quick facts. If you don't know anything about Singapore, you can watch this with me now, and I'll see you after it. So, enjoy. And now some Singapore quick facts. The name Singapore comes from Singapura, the Malaysian word for Singapore, meaning Lion City. One rumor for the name is that Prince Sang Nila Uttam saw a tiger on the island in the 14th century and thus named the island Singapura. In the beginning of the 19th century, the Dutch was in control of the Malaya Peninsula, but the southern tip, today Singapore, had no Dutch presence. The British Lieutenant Governor of Java, Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, took the opportunity to establish a trading post in Singapore in 1819, and that started Singapore on a path as a British colony. Singapore gained independence as a Republic of Singapore in 1965, after a couple of years in the Federation of Malaysia. And since 1965, the country has been governed by the People's Action Party. And in 2015, a 4-day weekend was declared for the anniversary. Residing 1 degree north of the equator, Singapore has a tropical rainforest climate. The temperature is usually around 26 to 27 degrees, that's 79 to 81 degrees Fahrenheit, all year round, but wetter during the monsoon season, which usually is between November to January. Singapore is home to about 5.6 million residents, which ethnically are very diverse. It's a blend of Chinese, Malay, Indians, Peruvians, which are local-born people descendants to Chinese immigrants of the 15th and 16th century. Also many British and other Westerns call Singapore their home. A few years before Singapore became independent, Lee Kuan Yew founded the People's Action Party, which he led for 30 years, taking Singapore on an impressive road to wealth, prosperity, and is now considered as being a financial giant in Asia, ranked as the third largest financial center in the world. Lee Kuan Yew passed away in 2015 at a respectable age of 91. The most common and familiar symbol for Singapore is the merlion. It consists of the head of a tiger and the body of a fish. It was created in 1964 by the Singapore Tourism Board. The merlion statue was originally placed at the mouth of the Singapore River, near the Fullerton Waterboat House Garden. But in 2002 it was moved to Merlion Park, located in front of Marina Bay. This was done due to the newly created Esplanade Bridge at Marina Bay in 1997, which blocked the views of the statue in its original location. Due to its location at the southern tip of the Malayan Peninsula, the country-state has been limited to the land area it possesses. It's only got 719 square kilometers, which is smaller than the New York City. But from its independence in 1965, it has actually managed to increase its land area by 23%. This has been necessary to accommodate the increased population size, which have increased from 2 million in 1960 to more than 4 million in 2008. Despite being a small-sized country, Singapore Armed Forces consist of the Army, Air Forces and Navy. Due to the limited airspace of Singapore, its Air Force have bases in Australia, United States and France, in which it also regularly trains in these countries. Singapore is the part of the countries which have the lowest crime rate in the world, and according to a 2016 survey, it ranks Singapore in the 7th place out of 176 countries in respect to corruption. Hey guys, welcome back. Hopefully now you are a bit more aware of Singapore, and if I got anything incorrect, please just let me know down in the comments, okay? I am planning to do a couple of more of these videos before I leave. I'll be leaving in January, that's in 4 months from now. Well, it depends on when you watch this episode, of course, but yeah, from me, it's 4 months from now, yeah. We'll do discuss a little bit what I'm planning to bring with me, what I'm going to pack, what I'm going to pack in, etc, etc. So, please subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos, and I'll hope to see you soon. Okay, see ya!